Hi, how are you? I just need one more. Well, I better be careful. I almost said I need one more drink. You know, they'll clip that. What do we have here? Nice, nice. I got it. Thank you. Phone ringing off the hook, text messages. I know I got a very vicious little dog in the background. Um, so hold on. Let me tell someone I have to have um I have to I got a new puppy. I got it. Yes, Diane. I have not told anyone, have I? I haven't. I got a new puppy. Yes, and it's a little yapper, and he's outside the studio yapping, wanting to know where I'm at. And I'm here Friday morning. I'm your host, BKP. Let's kick this thing off. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. China's retaliating. One day. It's not like Trump didn't prepare everyone. So just so you know, I'm prepared to weather the storm. I'm ready. There's only one way to restore America to wealth, stop the drugs from coming in our country, restore our children, restore their health. It's all got to happen. Everything has to happen, and I am still. This is my pin. You'll see it throughout. This says Trump 4547. My hat says Trump. My watch says Trump. Okay. I'm still here, not going anywhere. Now, I'm not an economist by trade, and I didn't even stay at the Holiday Inn Express last night. But I get this. Now, we let it happen. All right. So, places like Nike, companies like Nike, companies like Apple, they left China and went over to Vietnam and Cambodia and set up shop there, because in Trump's first administration, his first administration, Trump put a tariff on China. So the worldwide corporations like your Nike and Apple and so forth, they were starting to look at places where they can make a Nike shoe for $2-3 or whatever they make it, send it into this country and still charge our children $125, $150. Now, I'm a fourth model Nike. Well, I really don't purchase Nike. I just don't. I don't want to do a commercial for anyone, but if I look at a Nike shoe, then you're guaranteed it's a fourth generation. It's like at the store, and I'm not going to tell you the store. It's the store my son used to laugh at me for shopping at. And now that he is a little older, that's where he shops. So, but anyhow, it's at the store, and it's down to $59, which I still think is too much. $69. It's no longer $150. But that being said, keep this in mind, and we're going to go into great depth on the tariffs today. One day. Now, the market is down again. Let me say this and get it over with. Let me peel this Band-Aid back. In the last 4 years, okay, if you watched Biden and Harris and all the above. If you watch them print trillions of dollars, send it out, and states, organizations, NGOs, the list is enormous, steal the money, if you watch that, and pump it into an economy that was not real, and you're out there and you said, wow, the stock market's gone from 17,000 to 18, from 18 to 19, from 19 to 20. Now, if you read history, there's a such thing as called the Roaring '20s, right? The Roaring '20s. And not to go in depth on that history, but the Roaring '20s and the stock market crash. Now, I'm not making light of this, and I'm not making light if you lost money yesterday or you continue to lose money. But I am going to say, if you were not aware that this economy was a paper tiger, and this economy it wasn't real, and it didn't exist, it was a mirage out in the desert, and there was no true economic growth, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We are trying to privatize the economy. You cannot sustain what the Biden-Harris administration. Now, there's a debt. There's an enormous debt in when Trump was in office. We're not going to take that away. I get attacked and said, well, you gloss over this. And no, the deep state was well in control, and there was an enormous debt when Trump was in office. I get that. But with Elon Musk, we're trying to expose the fraud, waste fraud. Fraud is corruption. The NGOs. What Elon Musk has done in the first 2.5 months of this administration, he has went out there and exposed Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, USAID. He has exposed the enormous, fraudulent, fake, paper tiger economy. That's over here. Now, the world stage. Trump was left with a disaster in Europe. Absolutely. A disaster in Europe. He was left with a disaster in Europe to the point they didn't even care if they took a picture with Joe Biden. Now, seriously, folks, you can think whatever you want this morning, whatever you want, but it wasn't a year ago that things were such a disaster. Give me 33. It was only a year ago that things such a disaster in Europe and taking advantage of us that they didn't even wait for Joe Biden to get in the picture. They didn't even position Joe Biden, America, in the front row, in the center. There is such a disaster that has been created with Ukraine and Russia, to the point Russia won't negotiate anything where Zelensky is concerned in Ukraine, and Europe is trying to bully their way into taking over Ukraine, not making Ukraine sovereign. They don't want Ukraine to be sovereign. They want to take it over. NATO wants to take it over. A disaster. A disaster in the Middle East. Absolute disaster in the Middle East. The Houthi rebels. Iran. Nuclear weapons. North Korea going to Russia to fight. Nuclear weapons. China surrounding Taiwan. Don't know when, but it's coming. Even to the point that Australia and the Philippines are very concerned about China aggression and Japan. It's there, right? And you have Israel, Hamas. Now you got Syria up there. Assad is gone. Turkey's taken over. I am still supporting President Donald Trump We don't build any cars. Yes, we do. No. Well, did you see the Hyundai plant? Have you seen the Toyota plant? Have you seen the Nissan plant in Jackson, Mississippi? Okay. Our industries are gone. So that being said, I still support Donald J. Trump this morning. And if you're losing an enormous amount of money in the market, I'm not going to jump after day one. The world knew this was coming for weeks. They called Trump's bluff. If they would have been over here trying to negotiate with Trump, if China is putting a 32% right tariff, I'm getting the messages. The stock market, China wants the stock market to collapse, number 82. They want it to totally collapse. But don't forget, China's in a very poor position economically in their country. China has imposed 34% tariff on U.S. goods on April 10th. Folks, you don't have no damn goods in China. You can't go to China and buy made in the USA cars. You could buy a General Motors Cadillac made in China. You can buy a Cadillac in China. You sure can. Made there in China. Manufactured there in China. And you can tote your ass around the Cadillac and heat the seats up here in the United States, and it's imported from China. I read that somewhere. I'm serious. China's not putting your stuff on the shelf. Not at all. Europe's not putting your stuff on the shelf. Not at all. You got a small business out there? Small business is concerned? You got Joe frickin' Frack out there. They take a little warehouse. They're engineers. You got 2 engineers. You got a salesman. This is America. Let me give you what America. You have an engineer guy or gal graduates as an engineer, and then you have this hotshot salesperson. That could have been me. And then you have a small factory, and you have a template, and you have a widget, and you're like, we will make this and sell it. We're Americans. And then your hotshot salesman, he's all over Europe. Can't put it on the shelf. Okay. All right. I'll go to China. Nah, I don't think so. Japan. Nah, I don't think so. And then this manufacturing company, small business that they keep talking about is hurt. They never cared about it in the past. That this little manufacturing company says, well, I guess we can put our products on the shelf in America. So they put them on the shelf in America. So Crayola, right? Go to the box store and you look at Crayola. Crayola's $2.75. And then you got the little China poison pack of colored crayons for $1.09. Well, there's even Steven. There you go. Go to the store. Go there. The Crayola crayon. Go look at it. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Go look at it. $2 and something on the shelf. Right? China poison pack next to it with colors that your kids are over there scribbling with, $1.09. So you little manufacturing companies in America, they can't get into the other markets in the world. And when they put their stuff on the shelf, well, just saying. You're going to tell me that we can't manufacture a damn sneaker. I call it a sneaker, tennis shoe, whatever the hell you want to call it. You're going to tell me we can't manufacture a shoe, put it on the shelf, right? Hell, we can sell it for $150. You're selling it to the kids for $150. So you want to tell me that we can't open a factory, sew up a shoe, pay a decent wage? I'm not liberal, damn it. I'm not Bernie Sanders. Get off my ass. But I'm talking pay a decent wage, not Cambodia where they're getting $2.98 a day from Nike. Pay a decent wage, put people in there, work them 8 hours, not 14, 16 hours. Let them go home to their families and put the damn shoe on the shelf for $75. You want me to believe we can't do that? Bullshit. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that could hurt stock price. Well, there's one of the problems. So families, decent wage, factory in America, shoe. Well, instead of Nike making 89, 11, 20 billion bucks, they'll only make 89 billion. That could be tough. That could hurt the stock price. Okay, Diane, that was not the intent. But if you're new to the show, you never know. I do stuff like that all the time. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these people, and I'm thinking one day, Trump has hand. You got it? He has hand. We have hand. The stock market's going down. Okay, I got it. I'm concerned. I don't like it, right? I don't. I'm concerned. But do you know the stock market's rigged, right? And you do know that they're pushing it down intentionally to try to get Trump to yell uncle, right? You know that, don't you? All right. So they're freaking out. Laura Loomer went to the White House. All right. So I follow Laura Loomer. I do. I go on there, I read. And I've been reading her stuff for the last 2 months. No, I've been reading since the whole Signal Gate. All right. Give me number. I want 11 and then I want 10, and we're going to do the segment later. So I've been reading. Laura ends up at the White House. She's researching, right? You got Waltz, you got Hegseth. What's going on? What to know about Laura Loomer's Trump conspiracy theorist ally? But next thing you know, she shows up at the White House, number 10. NSA Director General Timothy Yu, is that how you say it? Anyhow, fired along with top civilian deputy. Number 13. These are the kind of things that make you go, right? Multiple firings on Trump's National Security Council after Loomer visit. Now, Waltz was spotted walking towards Marine Force One with Trump. It's being reported, true or false, I don't know, that Trump was on the edge of firing Waltz, but I'm pretty sure he got on Marine Force One and Trump let him know. It probably got pretty firm. So anyhow, let's take that down. We're going to talk a little bit about that later in the show. So I want to bring this up. Number 32. Trump's new neighbor. Hi, Diane. Did I say hi? I don't know if I said hi. Well, I'll be damned. I gotta quit that. I mean, I don't want this day to be like that. And then my mom's gonna text me or send message. And Mark Zuckerberg revealed as cash buyer of 23 million Washington, D.C. Mark wanted to be right next to Trump. Zuckerberg moved right down the street from Trump. Well, I'll be. Give me number 25. What would you say at a time like this? Well, golly, right? There you go. Zuckerberg's right down the street. Zuckerberg buys 23 million Washington, D.C. mansion to be closer to Trump. So Marcus, he doesn't want Elon, So number 37, they're all hitting the panic button. I told you this days ago. They're doing polling right now because it's their political career is at stake. Not the country, their political career, their future, right? because maybe they just got there and they're into 200,000, and maybe they've only made their first million in the brown paper bag behind the dumpster, and they haven't, gotten to $2, $3, $4, or $20 million yet, because lawmakers get rich in Washington, D.C., not representatives of the people. So they've hit the panic button. They're doing polling behind closed doors. Oh, my God. We could lose. And then you have number 63, you got Macron. Macron is crying. Who's crying now? I should play this song. Who's crying now? They're all crying. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We are serious. Oh, did you see where Tucker sold his truck, number 6? So I'm watching videos yesterday, and Tucker bought a new truck. He bought a new GMC, right, or a Chevy or whatever it was, General Motors. Tucker Carlson immediately sells his new Chevy. Yes. So he stopped for gas. He said he stopped for gas, and I think on the dash it said stop, so we can upload. We can upload data. Yeah, we can upload data. Stop. He took the truck right then and he sold it. He sold the truck right then. All right, so what else we got? Now, in Georgia, so we can go to break, it's sine die. Now, what does that mean? It means it's the 40th day of the Georgia State Legislative Session 2025. Now, I do not think it's a coincidence, because you know me, give me 86. I do not think it's a coincidence, all right, that today we'll be talking about this in the Georgia Hour. I don't think it's a coincidence that the 40th day is on Friday. They don't want you to pay attention. They want to run up to midnight some legislation, and they don't want you to see it's Friday, right? Who wants to pay attention? Who wants to watch? So let me tell you what's happening this morning. It's the last day, so they're all in their cubicles, their offices. Now, if you're a newbie, you got a cubicle, basically. If you've been there a while and you're, doing exactly what you're told and not getting out of the line, they put you in an office with a door. That being said, what they're doing this morning in Georgia at sine die is they're going through and they're letting all the lawmakers, state senators, and they're letting, yesterday they did not have session. They had committees, but not session yesterday. Wednesday was the last one. So yesterday they set everything up. And they're going through the cubicles this morning. This is my impression of what's happening. I know it, and they're letting the lawmakers know what's on the floor today and what's expected. Now, they don't quote say this, but it's like, when this one gets on the floor, you just push a yes. We're going to get 100 over the finish line. When this one gets on the floor, you just push a yes. You got it? When this one gets there, you just push no. Well, what about that bill of mine from back home where my constituents are really concerned, about something, in my neighborhood? Yeah, okay. Next year, maybe. Exactly, that's how it works. All right, so that's today. Now, paper ballots, HB 397 and SB 214. That is one we're watching today. I have already texted my lawmaker in the House. This is in the House. So HB 397 is from the Senate back over to the House. It needs to pass today. It should pass. It's going to remove us from Eric. There's some pretty good election security measures in HB 397. Should pass, but don't take it for granted. Push your lawmakers in the House. Now, SB 214 is in the House. Paper ballot in the House. I'm in the House. Paper ballot SB 214 is in the Georgia State House of Representatives. You must. I already did that. I did it this morning at 6 a.m. I wasn't ugly. I went to my lawmaker. Hey, last day, it's almost over. I wish you well. I know it's exhausting, right? It was nice. I was nice. Please notify me the what's taking place as far as SB 214. We need this one passed today and on the floor for a vote. Now, a lot has to happen. You're going to be told, well, that can't happen. We don't have time. That's a lie. That's the only way I know to put it. It is a lie, okay? The Speaker of the House, I know this for a fact, can do anything they want today, right? He can walk the bill through the committee. They could vote and no conference and say it went in committee. They could do anything they want, whether you believe that or not today. SB 214 could get attached to another bill. Now, it would have to go back to the Senate today for a vote if it got attached. If it gets altered or attached to another bill, that bill has to go back to the Senate. So let's not get convoluted there. But let your lawmakers know that you're not finished with SB 214. All right, here's one. This one really, I mean, I'm trying not to get angry today. Well, here you go. Let's just go ahead and get angry. Open records, transparency. Do not believe. Every day I do something, Diane, that should end my career. And I don't know why they let me continue on. 108. All right. Already at 8 o'clock this morning. Now, open records, transparency. Do not believe. One more time. Do not believe Republicans under the Gold Dome for the most part. You might bump into one or two. It's possible. But in the grand scheme of things, who in the hell wants to shut down open records? Do you see what I see? No, not if this bill passes. Georgia lawmakers make 11th hour bid to expand government secrecy. State legislators and the police could shield more of their work from the public. Now, when they say police, if there's an ongoing investigation, law enforcement can make a determination of what is active and can be released. But if someone gets arrested or something happens, the booking report, all right, the warrants, the booking report, that means the picture, the arrest warrant, all these things are public. It is not, right, in the active investigation. It's public. You have to take these out to arrest somebody. The police could start closing off information, all right? Public under a surprise last-minute proposal which emerged in the General Assembly. Under Senate Bill SB 12, legislators could keep secret their communications with state agencies. Yes, this is true. Now go to 109. SB 12. I do not like. I just got to do it. I got to do it. I do not like State Senator Frank Ginn. I don't care for him. I just don't. I always find him at the end of something I consider possibly corrupt. Possibly. Key word. SB 12, inspection of public records, documents, and records in the possession of private persons or entities, right? Oh, by the way, Josh, Sally, Debbie, I'd like to see some of that documentation or communication. We'll get into that later. House, withdrawal recommended. Official initial summary, a bill to be entitled An Act to Amend Article 4, Chapter 18, Code of Georgia, anointed, is that what it says? Relating to inspection of public records. Now, look here at who said, I think this would be great. Frank Ginn is the author. Co-author, Randy Robinson, Clint Dixon, Sean Still, Bill Cozart, Ben Watson, Blake Tillery. Blake, do you want to run for statewide office, but you want to hide things? Okay. Bo Hatchett, John Albers, Matt Brass, Kay Kirkpatrick, Russ Goodman, Steve Gooch. Steve, what the hell? Damn it. What the hell? Get your damn name off of there. Sam Watson, Emmanuel Jones, Kanye Wicks. Am I shocked? Brandon Beach and Chuck Payne. Look at the names that are on that bill. How damn dare you? I'm sorry, Mom. I promise. I'll stop it now. All right. So it's 8:31. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. Let me show you this, okay? No, I'll show you the video when we return. Take a break.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Okay, so I'm back. Messages are flying. It's Friday. It's supposed to be Friday. All right, so I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. And we will at 10 o'clock address the dark, evil-hearted, the evil queen of Georgia, Debbie Dooley. Evil, darkness, Debbie Dooley. She loves the show. I can tell she loves the show. Anyhow, so tariffs, number 37. They're all in panic. Now, I am not going to stop supporting Donald Trump. We talked about this earlier. We're going to break this down. Now, Trump is going to use all of this for negotiating, and I think it's going to work. Now, you're going to hear a lot of references, and give me number 38, the Roaring 20s, right? And you're going to hear a lot. Many of you are talking about the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, signed into law by President Herbert Hoover, raised import duties on goods entering the United States, aiming to protect American businesses and farmers, but ultimately worsened the Great Depression, all right, by triggering retaliatory tariffs. Now, you're going to hear that it didn't work, it won't work. But keep this in mind, in 1930, we had not shipped, America had not shipped in 1930, America had not shipped our manufacturing abroad. In 1930, we had steel, we made our own products in 1930. We had not shipped basically the core of this country abroad. So this is not a comparison. In 1930, the president, Herbert Hoover, did not have to deal with Ukraine and Russia. Okay, in 1930, some of the things that are happening today in this country, go look at the debt crisis in 1930? Was there Social Security in 1930? Was there Medicare in 1930? Was there NGOs in 1930? Just saying. So everything that the president has to deal with today, okay, he did not have to do it. Wasn't dealt with. So I just want to let you know, when you start hearing this over and over, because they're running this everywhere they can. Now, Trump is trying to negotiate a deal in Ukraine with Russia. And I've told you that Russia, he's normalizing relationships with Russia. And the UK continues to say, well, let's put, Zelensky continues to want to be in NATO. And Zelensky thinks he has the power to give the assets in Ukraine that still exist there to whoever will let him in NATO. And he thinks he has a bargaining chip. So he went over there. They patted him on the back in the UK. They patted him on the back in the EU. And Trump's trying to say, look, bottom line is, Russia says he has to go. And they're not going to move forward. And you got to quit making deals with this guy. So the tariffs will continue. And I'm going to show you just a couple here because we're going to get to the tariffs. What does that mean? So number 16, why are they trying to, I hope Trump stands strong. I hope America stands up to this. Trump's tariffs threaten U.S. weapon production. Wow, the weapon production. Interesting. The program could make it more difficult for Americans to produce weapons and keep allies. Well, there you go. New York Times, number 17, stocks plunge in new round of economic worry as investors fear downturn. The worst stock market in years, slow and boring has eased the pain. So I might have used my glasses. So let me show you a couple of these before we start playing the deep state corporate corrupt media, the deep state trying to collapse our country. Yes, from within. 21 or 20. Give me 20. Go through here just a minute, right? Number 20, Sputnik. West should admit its mistake in relations with Russia, right? And next Putin-Trump call may take place before or after upcoming weekend reports. So you're getting ready to see Trump administration accepts Ukraine will not be part of NATO. So they're not going to be. But there you go over in number 21, Russia Today. Zelensky contradicts Trump on NATO membership. Zelensky contradicts Trump on NATO membership. The U.S. president earlier said that Ukraine leader understood that Kiev will never go to join the bloc. But Zelensky says, sorry, I'm going. Number 22. We have to get in the front row in the center of the picture today. That is our visual. Biden was in the back row and didn't even show up. Trump is putting America, if you will hang on, he's putting America back in the front row in the center of the picture. Okay? Zelensky contradicts Trump on NATO membership. Ukraine could still become a member of NATO despite opposition to the idea from administration of U.S. Donald Trump. He is really thumbing his nose like he has some power. Now, number 23, we have the Russian equivalent to Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary. All right. He has been here. Dmitriev says 3 steps forward made following meeting in Washington, according to Russian Russian Direct Investment Fund CEO and Special Presidential Envoy. This went well. We're making progress in actually normalizing relationship. I'm telling you. All right. So with that being said, the Moscow Times, number 26, Russian envoy seeks cooperation with U.S. at landmark Washington talks. So, and then you have, this is the Moscow Times, will Russia come out the winner in Trump's trade war? So let me say this. They want Russia's energy back. Russia is in the Arctic distributing liquid natural gas once again. The Nord Stream pipeline that Germany needs so bad. Zelensky is not in play. But who? Europe, NATO, UK, France, Ursula. They want in Ukraine. They want to put troops in Ukraine. What's this got to do with tariffs? So let's go to Istanbul, number 29. Now we're going to come right back into the tariffs. Russian official says Moscow, Washington made 3 steps forward in mending ties. Russia's special envoy for foreign investment. Now, for this team of Russians to come to America, we had to lift sanctions against them for a certain amount of time, certain sanctions for them to come to America. All right? And economic cooperation says direct flights between Russia and U.S. may be reinstated soon. Yes, exactly. So here you go over here. You've got number 30. Trump criticizes France's conviction of Le Pen as a witch hunt. France put political opposition in prison. So going back, Diane, let's go back to, let's start here. Number 39, China, TikTok. Trump says TikTok sale deal to come before Saturday deadline. So today's Friday. Tomorrow's the deadline for TikTok. Trump has negotiating power. So there's some laughable, what I call laughable things going on when it comes to the tariffs. And we will look at, let's go through some of the graphics. Number 80. Remember when Trump's tariffs drive historic stock market drop? Remember when Jerome Powell, number 79, said he's not leaving? No, he won't leave. What if President Trump asked you to leave? No, I'm not going anywhere. Federal Reserve is unlikely to rescue markets and economy from tariff turmoil anytime soon. So let me just stop there for a minute. You know, remember on Monday, we had a 10% chance or 20% chance of tariff, like a storm coming in. And then they upgraded it, right? They upgraded it to a 30% come Wednesday, right? And then yesterday, I think, what did they do? Did they go all the way to 40%? Now, today, the storm, 60, number 70, I'm sorry, Diane, number 70, JP Morgan rises recession risk. Yesterday, it went to 60%, okay? 60%. Now, let's start with kind of the panic attack. We'll go with video 11 right out of the box because there are some things here that are quite humorous. Video 11.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney vowed to match 25% auto tariffs on imports from the U.S.
Our old relationship of steadily deepening integration with the United States is over.
Already signs prices people pay are rising. Volkswagen announcing it will add an import fee to vehicles to reflect the 25% auto import tariff. Hyundai telling its dealerships prices are likely to rise. Democrats on the Hill are calling the president's trade policies a national sales tax.
We estimate families will be charged $5,000 a year on the purchases they make of imported products.
And despite this promise from the Rose Garden event,
jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country.
There's near-term disruption. Automaker Stellantis today said it will pause plants in Mexico and Canada, and that 900 workers in the U.S. will be temporarily laid off. And while the president says companies will start to make more products in America, economist Mark Zandi says that will take years if it happens at all.
The tariffs are done under executive order, they're not under law, and they can be changed by the stroke of a pen or the whim of the president. So I just don't see any major company making a big investment in the United States based on these tariffs.
And breaking
news, China. So Canada said if you put a tariff on our cars, which Canada has, we've showed you there. They have Volkswagen, they have BMW, but they have, I think, our Ford trucks, F-150, 250. I think they have an enormous Ford and General Motors line. Now, Stellantis says they're going to cut 900 jobs in America because Stellantis is not an American company. Now, many still consider Ford and General Motors an American company, but not Stellantis. Your Dodge, no, that's French, Renault, right? That's Macron and Bridget. So Stellantis says that. I kind of discount that. But Canada says we're going to put 25%, you put 25%, we're going to put 25%. We import no cars to Canada that I'm aware of to Canada, right? Canada knows that all these factories have to do north of here is increase production just 100 miles south. They know that. Now, on the car industry, the manufacturers are talking about, now, there is a little truth to something that was said. If you're going to build a factory and it takes 24 months to build it, get it up and running, tool it, and get things out the door, that's a big investment if a Democrat comes in and reverses everything and you can't sell your product. That's a big investment. But at the same time, all they have to do on the auto industry, when you talk about Volvo and you talk about Hyundai and you talk about these putting an import tax, these companies have manufacturing or have assembly. They have assembly in this country. They can switch up immediately and increase output in all of these areas. Now, I will say the one thing they are in fear of, especially through the South, is that the auto tariff could encourage, we got to put it all on the table, unionizing these Southern plants, right? That's a fear they have. When Scotty Fain of the UAW comes out and supports this, that's a fear they have. So anyhow, all right, Hyundai, Canada, these people are all in fear if we'll just hang on, because import could come in. I mean, we could start manufacturing some products just like that, opening new lines and switch things. And, Canada could say what they want, but I don't think Trump's sitting there in the kind of fear. Now, let's go with video one. CNN.
Here's what one garment worker from Cambodia said about the potential concerns here. I want the U.S. to reduce the tariff on the country, and I want the factory to give me more overtime work so workers can make more money. And with the introduction of these tariffs, if the factory shuts down, we'll all die because we can't afford to live with high costs from the rent and all kinds of goods and food, too.
I mean, very real fears here, Kim, about just how high these tariffs are for countries in Southeast Asia and what kind of impact they will have within their countries. Now, I just also want to point out here that, of course, in Vietnam, for example, about a third of the country's GDP comes from U.S. exports. And in Cambodia, more than a third of the country's exports actually go to the United States. So when these tariffs potentially come into place, they could spell a lot of trouble for these two nations. Now, Kim, also, I've spoken to a couple of
Cambodia, Vietnam, 1/3 of their exports come here, right? Now, this guy's worried he won't get his $1 a day from Nike, Apple, these corporations. He's worried, or $1.75 are they up to? Maybe a whole $2 they're getting now, whatever it may be. He's worried about if he does that, he can't pay his rent. He's worried if he doesn't have that, he can't buy food. You know, all I could say is I hate it for you. I really do. I don't want to say that's not my problem, but it's not. It's really not my problem. It's my problem that my neighbor can't pay their rent. It's my problem that my neighbor can't buy food for their family. That's where actually my problem, our problem comes in. I wish you well. That's all I could say. So give me number 41. Now keep this in mind, okay? It's all about the profit. Now I'm a capitalist. I am a free market capitalist. You got it? But I don't want them dumping their stuff. I'm a America free market capitalist. Let me clear that up. Let me make sure that's clear. I'm not a world free market capitalist. I'm not. I don't like tariffs, but I'm not. I am a America, continental U.S., Hawaii, Puerto Rico, the territories, Alaska. I believe we should be able to trade freely, interstate commerce in America. But once that's gone, our country owes us manufacturers not to have us compete with someone making $2 a day. That's just all there is to it. So I'm going to go on with that. Here it is, the change in stock price. Nike lost 14%, right? Apple lost 9.2%. Do you know where they manufacture? Well, let's go ahead with the stock report for Nike, video 10.
For good reasons, and I'm not going to go through all these, but I'll give you a couple of examples. Nike down 14%. I shouldn't say all, probably virtually all of their clothing and their shoes and their sneakers and so forth are made in Southeast Asia, which have some of the highest tariff rates, as we'll talk about in a minute. Boeing is a huge exporter of planes to other countries. Those countries can now buy Airbuses. Could be really bad for Boeing's business. Apple makes virtually every iPhone that they sell in China. 54% tariff coming into effect there. Amazon, you would be surprised at how many packages you order from Amazon that are actually shipped directly to you from somewhere overseas where they're made, and a high tariff will now be paid. JP Morgan, the banks could be facing pressure for another reason, and so on and so forth. I'll just mention quickly.
Amazon ships from overseas. Folks, let me say this before we move on, all right? When Trump put tariffs on China, they created loopholes, and they went right through them. It's called Mexico. Loopholes. It's called Cambodia. It's called Vietnam. Apple, Amazon, they no longer could work in China because of the Trump tariffs 2016. So they shifted over to Vietnam. They shifted over to Cambodia. where they send, you just heard, 30% of their exports to this country. So you may get 5 Amazon deliveries today, and if you like that, that's good. Great. But Amazon exploded in profits, and their company exploded over the last 4 years while you got stuck with the bill while they printed money in a fake economy. That's all there is to it. Nike, all right? All there is to it. Trump is closing these loopholes. Bottom line. That's all there is to it. They can make deals. Now, someone said, well, there's not a good, the trade deficit with Vietnam and Cambodia. They don't put American goods on the shelf, and there's not a lot of purchasing power there. Okay, but there's got to be some. We will come back and continue with manufacturing. We'll continue with the tariffs. And then around 9:30, we will get into Laura Loomer, the NSA, what happened there. And at 10 o'clock, we'll have the Georgia Hour. Could somebody tell Debbie, the evil-hearted woman, you evil-hearted woman. I heard that in a song somewhere. Could somebody tell Debbie Dooley that will be at 10 o'clock for her to pay attention? Take a break.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. I just want to do that. You remember that when who had that commercial? .com. All right, so we're talking about tariffs, all right, and I received a phone call, and we got a viewer up around the Charlotte, North Carolina area that called in. Thank you for being so polite. I really, I get phone calls and people are like not very polite. This gentleman called me, and because we can't just take calls, we want to hear from you and throw them up on the air. We have to set them up because of Diane being the producer here. We got to set them up. So anyhow, that being said, I'm going to be calling that gentleman back after the show. We're going to discuss it. And we're going to get him on Monday because he has a great take on tariffs that he wants to talk about. And I want to be very clear. This is a freedom of speech platform. And I will take your freedom of speech. I get your messages, your emails, right? You're free to say nasty stuff, and I'm free not to put up with your shit. So if you just want to say nasty stuff and you just want to call me names or, my regular in the top 5 fat ass or whatever you want to call me, that's fine, but I don't have to deal with it. But if you want to have a discussion and we don't agree concerning the issue, this platform's open. We will do it. So I appreciate the phone call during the break. I had 2 or 3 calls during the break. I'm trying to deal with some things. Can you do me a favor? Call Debbie Dooley. Get her on at 10. I need her to hear something. She needs to hear something from me. I'm going to look right at the camera, try to lighten up her dark heart and tell her something that she may need to know. Anyhow, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Hi, Diane. That got everything going. Deep breath. Or just not. So, the tariffs. Now, we are going to have differences, and here's what I'm going to say. We're going to have differences because it will affect people financially. It will. I agree with that. They have the nerve in D.C. to say it's going to affect the family by $5,000 a year. Now they never did discuss the major taxes on the American people in the 4 years with the inflation and just that enormous $5,000 a year on the American family during that administration. So we're going to have differences here based generationally. And I don't want to take us back. I want to look at you and tell you, everybody that says, well, you want to take us back. Okay, you want to go back to 1950. You want to go back to 1970. 1950, I'm not aware of, but I am aware of 1970. All right? So, that being said, no, I do not. But I see, in my generation, I see the manufacturing issue. I see the offshore issue. I see the switch. I am of the generation, I watched the export, okay? I watched that night, give me number, Diane, okay? Had to be careful here. I'm saying I an awful lot. But I did. Here's the assembled. This'll get you upset, make you listen to me. Number 46. Here is the team they assembled this morning on MSNBC that hate the I Hate America team. So, all right, Trump says things are going well after worst market drop since 2020. Now, I was watching the debate the night that Ross Perot talked about NAFTA, and if we passed it, that sound you hear is the sucking sound of our jobs going south, Mexico. I happened to be in front of the TV watching that debate, and George Bush said, how much longer is this going to last, right? I was there. I happened to be there that night that Ross Perot told the American people the truth concerning the Department of Education. Now, I have to tell you, I have a Ross Perot sign, don't I, Diana, somewhere? I'll get it for you. I have to tell you that if Ross Perot would not have had the little strange my daughter's wedding issue, dropped out of the race, got back in the race, if he would have stayed focused, not sure what would have happened, but Ross Perot laid the groundwork. Tea Party, right? List goes on. Now, that being said, I was there that night. So generationally, I see that we have to come back from the manufacturing. Now, the drugs, okay? The drugs. I watched from the 70s to the 80s. So let me just say this, okay? And I am not advocating. I'm going to look at the camera. I do not do drugs, all right? I have not partaken of any adult beverages or any drugs that I didn't buy at the pharmacy where a doctor prescribed them since I was 19 years old. Period. Look you right in the eye, okay? So I'm always aware of my surroundings. That's one of my personal constitutions, is always be aware of your surroundings. So I am. Now, that being said, but I watched this country go from marijuana, okay, cocaine, into heroin, right? I watched that, all right? And I watched at the same time the heroin and the cocaine and the marijuana, at the same time that was excelling. If you go look at the chart, our jobs left, your mom and dad were SOL. The factories laid them off. That was the transition. All right. transition. You're the next generation. I mean, you could say what you want, but you had towns where 3 generations worked at the factory at the same time. Grandpa hadn't retired yet, and the son was there, and the grandson came up. So we watched that, and when Grandpa left, this switched. It switched. Guess what? That kid that didn't want to go to college, that kid that couldn't afford college, right? You couldn't afford college. Back then in the day, if you couldn't afford college, your mom and dad couldn't afford college, you didn't go. So as that transition was happening, and the kids that couldn't afford college, you start seeing these towns deteriorate into just drug use. Zombies. Now, I have a friend that lived in Huntington, North Carolina, and they had to, Huntington, West Virginia, and they moved. And I asked why. All right, I have a friend my age that grew up in Huntington, West Virginia. And they moved. And I said, why did you move? They said, I'm tired of going down to the convenience store to get a taco or a hot dog or whatever and a Coca-Cola, whatever it may be. And the zombies wandering around wanting money, right? Drugs. I'm afraid of getting robbed. It's all over America. Let's look at each other and tell the truth. Fentanyl. How many fentanyl poisoning deaths are you aware of in America? How many are close to home? How many of you know that when the police officer opened the trunk and touched fentanyl, right? It's all over. We know the stories. How many of you have seen the stories in your newspaper? I think their favorite is kid slipped and fell in the tub. 17-year-old high school student slipped and fell in the tub and died today. Are you sure? Right? We know that. You and I know that. So we watch the manufacturing leave. We've got to get things back for our children. Not every kid in America today is going to go to college and shouldn't. Not every kid in America today is going to be a doctor, lawyer, anesthesiologist, nurse, whatever. And they shouldn't. We need them, but they shouldn't. I'm going to tell you something, okay? I'm not going to tell because my son will get mad. But I'm going to tell it anyway. So my son's getting ready to go off to college, right? And I take my son out on the side porch and I sit down with him. I say, son, you headed off to college. Now, I'm going to look and tell you right now, my son is one of the finest men I've ever met. Husband, father, worker. I'm very proud. But I set that boy out on the porch that night and I said, son, I know everybody's going to college. I just want to tell you something. If you don't want to go to college, you don't have to. You got it? Now, I have nothing against higher education and what I call true higher education. I said, you don't have to go to college. Here's the only thing you have to do. As your dad, this is what you have to do. You see, if you don't go to college, and you're 18 and you step out in the grown man's world, you got to get a job. And I don't care if you get a job driving a garbage truck. Do you understand? I will be proud of you. But here's what you have to do. You have to excel at every day, try to be the best garbage truck driver in America. That's all you have to do. You got it? Now, you might say, oh, my God, you wished your son to be a garbage truck driver? Look, folks, I don't look down on anyone. I don't. That's what's wrong with this damn country for the most part. I mean, I watched the garbage truck run. I watched the guy pulls in his truck, throws the garbage in the back, takes it off. It's not a miracle. It's not like the garbage evaporates, damn it. Someone picks it up. And if you go out there and you see the garbage man or the garbage lady, say good morning. How are you today? I wish you well, because you're not better than them. So I see that Trump has to stop the fentanyl. He has to stop the drugs, the terrorists coming in this country. He has to get the murderers out, send their asses to El Salvador. Oh, due process. I get it. I'm a constitutionalist. I want due process. Yes, but the due process. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out of the apartments. Get them off the drug corners. So I'm sitting here one morning, and I pulled up. This gets me. This will never leave my heart. So I come in every morning, and I pull up 40-some websites, and I go through them, and I watch these liberal wackos over here. And one morning I pulled up, this is in the Biden administration, this is 2001 or 2, whatever. And there's a story on the Chicago Sun-Times. I think it was Chicago Sun-Times I went to. There was 2 little girls that were killed in Chicago by stray gang bullets. Little black girls, right? But why would we care? They're little black girls, right? So one little black girl was sitting on the stoop in South Chicago, and she's reading a book. I think she was about 10 years old. Murdered, stray bullet from a gang. The other one was in the passenger side of their dad's car at a drive-through, fast food drive-through, when a bullet came through the door and killed the kid. Story after story in America. Tariffs. All right, so moving right along. Video 2. I'm not going to be able to recover from this, am I? Video 2.
Now, from Europe to Asia, from Canada to Brazil, the tariffs seem to have angered the leaders of most major economies, and they're not holding back.
They are all unjustified, unwarranted, and in our judgment, misguided.
I believe the latest decision on tariffs by the US president are fundamentally wrong.
It's a very bad idea because we have a strength. It's a market of 450 million residents. That's Europe.
We are extremely disappointed and regret that such measures have been implemented.
We will take all appropriate measures to defend our companies and our Brazilian workers.
They're angry all over the world. Angry all over the world because they got caught. And Trump said, we're going to stop it. I tell you what, once the taxes go in place, once we continue to cut waste and fraud, I think, I have seen what I hear, investment into Votech. I would love to see our kids, when I say that, in our manufacturing plants, our kids running the forklifts in these plants, loading trucks, truck drivers pulling them out, making the deliveries. I'd love to see it all over America. Now, automation is coming in. We are a country of distribution, not manufacturing. I drive, I travel, I see these big concrete behemoths with doors for hundreds of tractor trailers to back in. No one works in there. No one. Automation, loading. All right, so Give me Trump, because I agree with this. Let's go to video 3.
With TikTok as an example, we have a situation with TikTok where China will probably say, we'll approve a deal, but will you do something on the tariffs? The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have. I've used them very well.
Negotiate for what specifically? That's still kind of an open question. So that was the president's defense of the tariffs, but the vice president, J.D. Vance, is offering up one of his own, a fierce one for President Trump's tariffs, despite the abysmal reaction that we just detailed for you from Wall Street as well as Main Street. During a Fox News interview yesterday, before the markets opened, Vance tried to rationalize the tariffs by blaming former President Biden, apparently. Additionally, despite President Trump's campaign pledge to lower prices starting on day one, Vance now says relief for middle-class Americans will not happen overnight.
They know this is a big change, but we need a big change in this country because what we've done, what we did under the Biden administration, it just wasn't working. What I'd ask folks to appreciate here is that we are not going to fix things overnight. Yeah. Joe Biden left us, this is not an exaggeration, Lawrence, with the largest peacetime debt and deficit in the history of the United States of America, with sky-high interest rates. You don't fix that stuff overnight. We know people are struggling. We're fighting as quickly as we can to fix what was left to us, but it's not going to happen immediately.
I have to tell you, I do not like when an administration blames another administration, but the realities are just that. The disaster that was created, you do know that instead of Biden taking the tariffs that we put on China, he lowered the tariffs. He lowered the tariffs, okay, with he lowered, sorry about that, the tariffs on several countries, and he allowed China, when you hear, well, Biden left the tariffs on China, he allowed China to go to the loopholes. So when China, when you have Nike and you have Apple, Nike, and you have China coming through the loopholes in Mexico, if the Biden administration would have said, no, right? But they didn't. So you will not repair this. Give me number 43. Now, Ratner, which I do not like, okay, and I'm showing you this, but he starts the tariffs, you see over here, and it's around 1920 when the tariffs went up, right? Right there where I told you the Smoot-Hawley Act. And then as tariffs eased, he shows you in the 60s, the 80s, and 2000. You see the ease of the tariffs in the 60s went back up a little bit through Nixon, I guess. Went back up a little bit in the 60s with JFK. And then the 80s, they start coming down, and they bottom out, right? They bottom out in 2020 when they bottom out there, and you'll see they start jumping back up in the circle. That is from there. They start jumping back up. These are the Trump tariffs that he put in. And then you see they dropped and Trump's went straight up. So you see the graph there. But what you're seeing is the Ross Perot sucking sound of American jobs. And really, we're not hitting them like they hit us. Our products are not on their shelf. So if you put a product on our shelf, we're going to put a product on your shelf. I hate to simplify it that way. But through Europe, you can't find American products. You can't. You can't find American products in China. You can't find American products around the world. So let's go with, you heard what they said, video 4.
We know people are struggling. We're fighting as quickly as we can to fix what was left to us, but it's not going to happen immediately.
Few months into the Trump-Vance administration, going to be real hard to keep blaming the Biden-Harris administration for the current economy. But as the reality of the scope of Trump's tariffs sets in, some Republicans on Capitol Hill are now publicly disagreeing with the administration's plan.
Look, I think it is a mistake to assume that we will have high tariffs in perpetuity. I don't think that would be good economic policy. I am not a fan of tariffs. And the announcement yesterday, look, time is going to tell in the next month or two or three what happens. If the result of yesterday's announcement is a lot of our trading partners across the globe dramatically reduce the tariffs they charge on U.S. goods and services, and the consequence of that is the U.S. government dramatically cuts the tariffs that were announced yesterday, that would be a great outcome. That would be good for America. If the result is our trading partners jack up their tariffs and we have high tariffs everywhere, I think that is a bad outcome for America. Tariffs are a tax on consumers, and I'm not a fan of jacking up taxes on American consumers. So my hope is these tariffs are short-lived and they serve as leverage to lower tariffs across the globe.
Now, I don't want to get in an argument on tariffs or a tax on the American people, but this is an example, Ted Cruz and others, they're worried about their political career. They're not worried, I have to tell you point blank, about your children. They're not. They're not worried about the future for your children. They're not. They're not worried about the health, finding out what causes autism. They're not. They're concerned about their political career. Now, here you go. V5, just to say here, V5, all right?
So the reality that it's not clear what he's negotiating for. When it was Canada and Mexico, it was okay for fentanyl crossing the border. For this, it's negotiating, but for some big X, and it seems to be different for every country, potentially. I was talking to a Republican strategist who made...
We're not sure what he's negotiating for. We're not sure. Okay, we just wanted to show you the great intellect of our media. I'm not sure what he's negotiating for. Oh, no, are you sure? So, Republican Party, V6, answering the question.
It says about the Republican Party that the strongest headwinds that Trump has faced so far are not on pardoning January 6th insurrectionists. It's not on the blow up of diplomatic relationships, including that very high profile one with Zelensky in the Oval Office. It's on tariffs and the way that the American economy is going. What does it say about the party?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think right now what matters is that what matters to these Republicans in Congress is that they elected Donald Trump so that they could be so that they could have more financial security, and I think that is how it's actually impacting people is what they're concerned about. Republicans in Congress do not, they don't have these deeply held positions about tariffs. They're not. I mean, they appreciate that Donald Trump does, and that's what he was elected to do. I mean, they understand that is why the American people elected him to. I mean, that's really, frankly, one of the primary policy issues that he actually cares about. And so I don't think anybody's surprised, but I don't think that they believe from a policy perspective that can go on for that long. They're really hoping that this is a negotiating tool.
From a policy perspective, that's a nice way to put it. See, here's what we're doing is we're polling back home. They are rushing their polling, and if this hurts their political career, right? If they get notice that the Democrat that may run against them is raising money, they are not thinking about saving this country for your kids or the future or the debt. None of the above. So give me the stock market. I think I want this one, video 8.
But here's what's actually quite interesting. The stock market drop here was actually larger than the stock market drop in every other major index, every other major country. In Japan, it was down.
Wonder why. Well, I know what my comment is, but it's also 9:35. So video 9, last but not least. Well, no, not last. Video 9.
In the coming weeks and months, what do you make of the case he's attempting to make here?
Well, first of all, his case is not always that clear. There are two ways to think about what he might be trying to accomplish. One would be to lower tariffs so that we can export more to these other countries and have what he would call fairer trade, a more level playing field, whatever. The other would be that he thinks he's somehow going to restore manufacturing back to where it was in the 1970s, 50s, whatever, and build lots of factories, and we're going to keep these tariffs high in order to keep other stuff out and build manufacturing capacity here. They're both a fantasy, but for different reasons. On the first one, when you look at some of the tariffs he's put in against other countries, especially Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh, they are not in a position to buy much from us. It is normal, and I can get into the economics of it, but I'll spare them for the moment. It's normal of them to run a trade deficit with a country like ours, and we get, in return, cheaper, better goods that Americans have been enjoying now for many years. And so it's really not clear what the end game is here that's going to make any sense. It doesn't feel, remember in Trump 1.0, he put a bunch of tariffs on and then he quickly started negotiating and a bunch of them came off and he announced deals with Canada and Mexico and so forth. He feels much more dug in on this this time. And I would also make the point, he said in that clip that things are going exactly as he thought they would. Is he really saying that he expected the stock market would roll over?
So Cambodia and Vietnam, they can't buy the product from us, but you can buy the Nike shoes from them. Last but not least, video 7, right? Video 7. I have to leave you with this. I have to. Video 7.
Because, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here, so I told you so.
We told you so. Kamala said, we told you so. I know you wanted that. Give me number 81. 81. Don't forget, folks, Dr. Oz has been confirmed. All right. Oz confirmed to oversee health insurance for millions of Americans. Medicaid and Medicare, Dr. Oz, HHS. There you go. Take a break. We'll be right back. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll start the Georgia Hour. Take a break.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we are going to start the Georgia Hour, and the Georgia Hour is at 10 o'clock. Number 95, this young man will be our guest. Jaquan will be our guest at 10 o'clock. He's just going to tell us a little bit about, why he's running for office to be a state officer for the Georgia Republican Party, a little bit about where he's going to school. And I want to ask him the big question. What day was it you said, I'm a Republican, and why? I want that big question. So take that down. Now, folks, let's settle this. Number 8. Let's settle this. Now, Elon Musk, you continue to hear about Elon Musk every day. All right. He must remain. Trump wants Musk to stay with administration as long as possible, says Doge found something horrible. Okay. Now, Musk, we've talked about Social Security. We've talked about all the things that Elon Musk and Doge found that lawmakers did not have to touch. See what I'm saying? Cabinet officers, secretaries are not up for election. So no harm, no foul. Lawmakers can go home and say, I didn't touch Social Security. I promised. Now, I know that gets a little sticky, but still yet. Elon will be there, number 50 and 51, as long as Trump and Elon decide that he will be there. And let's be clear. All right, 50 and then 51. Now, Musk will begin dialing back his role in Washington, Trump has told his inner circle and members of the cabinet. Now, we explained this yesterday. Go ahead to the next one, Diane, 51. And this is Politico. Politico, never mind Wisconsin. The GOP should be worried about Florida results and what it means with Elon Musk around Trump. I told you yesterday, you have special or whatever it's called, temporary government employment status can only be for so many days, and then you have to switch. So Elon Musk has to back away in some official capacity on a certain day. But Doge is not going anywhere. And Elon Musk will be around the Trump administration and Donald Trump, I think, as long as he wants. Both of them want to be together. So don't buy into the nonsense. Second, let's go to 53. We are waiting for Senate advances budget framework, additional $1.5 trillion in tax cuts, increase immigration enforcement, boost Pentagon budget, unspecified spending cuts, $5 trillion debt limit increase, permanently extend the Trump 2017 tax cuts. So this is in full steam right now over in the Senate, working on that. When this all comes together, and I really hope that you're not struggling out there based on not what Donald Trump did trying to save the country, based on what previous administrations did in destroying our country. So I hope you're not struggling, and I hope you can hang on. Now, give me number 55. We have the Trump backs remote voting for new parents amid House GOP impasse. I don't agree with this. I do not. I'm not going to belabor it. But number 54, here are the 9 Republicans join all House Democrats to block GOP procedural vote. So here are the Republicans that said, nope, 6 weeks if you're a new parent. I better not comment. So yesterday, let's just go one at a time and tick them off. Well, when I say tick them off, let's go with number 1. This happened. Trump now fires his NSA chief as MAGA star linked to mass bloodletting on his security team celebrates. So yesterday, we have, we know Laura Loomer went to the White House. So let's go there. Laura Loomer went to the White House. We'll keep on going. Number 12, this guy is fired now. Number 12, I would go follow Laura. And sorry, I said 12, number 2, my apology. Trump axed General Timothy Yu, pictured here, director of NSA and U.S. Cyber Command, on Thursday, along with his deputy, Wendy Noble. All right, here is Wendy, number 9. They both have been axed. And then you have number 10. And Laura Loomer went to the White House. So watch for this to develop. NSA Director General is out. Now, Axios. Now, I find it interesting, in the hour and a half I watched CNN this morning, they may go through it today. I didn't hear anything, but MSNBC and Morning Joe, I cut Morning Joe off a little after 7, they never said a word. So 11, what to know about Laura. This is Axios. If you want to read all of these articles, I would go follow Laura and read all of her accounts. What to know about Laura Loomer's Trump conspiracy theorist ally. Number 12, Trump's allies alarmed by Laura Loomer's influence on him. She's been doing research. Number 13, multiple firings on Trump's National Security Council after Loomer visit. I have clips of that, but I don't have time. So let's go with Diane, MSNBC, losing it over this. I think this is number 12. Give me number 12. Video 12, sorry.
Anyway, but on this, it is important to note that Laura Loomer is driving this. She is a far-right activist. She is someone who said that if Vice President Harris won the White House during the election, that it would smell like curry. Those were comments that were denounced by Republican allies of the president, including Vance at the times that he disagreed with it. And so she is the one who's really driving this, and it speaks to the level of influence.
And let's talk about the impact on national security, who they are, and why this matters so much for how the national security of the United States of America is run and who's doing it.
Well, what's fascinating about this is that the 3 staffers that have been fired here are outside of Washington Beltway national security circles. These are pretty anonymous people. They are foreign policy minds that have serious resumes, that have worked serious jobs on Capitol Hill, in the State Department, in think tanks. You know, these are people that are well known in national security circles because they are longtime practitioners of foreign policy, experienced in making that kind of policy. These are the people that are sort of engaged in the nitty-gritty of actually designing national security policy for the president. But they're not big public figures. You know, they're people like Brian Walsh, who was who ran intelligence programs for the White House, who formerly worked for Senator Marco Rubio when he was chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. You had a senior director who worked on technology issues for the National Security Council, and you had the head of legislative affairs for the National Security Council. So again, not people that are sort of big public names that you're hearing on cable news all day long. And I think it really speaks to this kind of lesson that the president felt that he learned out of his first administration of being managed up by these faceless bureaucrats.
Thank you both for your reporting. Appreciate you being here, getting up and in a little earlier. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
What did President Trump respond? How did he respond to that? Give me video 13.
So Laura Loomer is a very good patriot. She is a very strong person, and I saw her yesterday for a little while. She makes recommendations of things and people, and sometimes I listen to those recommendations, like I do with everybody. I listen to everybody, and then I make a decision. But I saw her yesterday. She was at the ceremony, and she'll always have something to say, usually very constructive.
What did she recommend?
She recommended certain people for jobs.
Adding to the administration, not
adding.
Who did she not firing?
Well, she'll recommend that too. But yesterday she recommended some people for jobs.
Did she have anything to do with the NSC aides who were ousted?
No, not at all.
Do you know how many, sir? Do you know how many from the NSC?
Not many.
Was it 5
Laura recommend hiring?
Well, I don't want to say that, but she's recommended some good people over the years. She's been in the party a long time. She's done a good job.
Do you trust your national security staff is doing what you want them to do?
We've done very well. We've had big success with the Houthis, as you probably know. Nobody's been able to do it like us.
Remember, number 34. Remember, don't forget, this is the door that the CIA / deep state / NSA, this is the door they went through to tear down Trump's first administration. Remember, Michael Flynn resigns as National Security Advisor. That was on February 2017. This is the same door, the same playbook, the same thing. But this time, Laura Loomer is the one paying attention, doing the research, the background, and the vetting. You see, Trump is very busy, so he can only trust the upfront vetting that he gets. But he has a I'm going to say this, I don't know this, but Laura Loomer is a back-end vetting system that he is using and listens to, whether you believe it or not. And she has gone through NSA. She was there. He respects her. He didn't throw her under the bus. So I'm just telling you right now, you should follow. If you want exactly, give me number 33. If you want exactly everything that happened on this, everything, go to Laura Loomer, follow her, read the entire thing, watch her videos. She'll explain everything that happened. But, you know, she got into the White House, number 33. Did I call for that one? Maybe I didn't. Don't forget USA, made in the USA. Now, as we leave, because when we come back, it's the Georgia Hour, and it is Friday. And let's go with I want 84. I want number 84. So here is this tonight. The Final Four, women's Final Four, NCAA Final Four, Texas, South Carolina, the Huskies, right? UConn and UCLA. Kim Mulkey with who is it? Who's down there in Louisiana, right? Anyhow, Kim Mulkey is not in there. LSU, they're not in there. So we don't have to see Kim Mulkey in her female Porter Wagner outfit, if you understood that. I mean, she looks like the female Porter Wagner, so she's not in there. And then I want tomorrow night, NCAA men, all 83. I don't know why you got that one. That was me, Diane, my fault. 83. This is tomorrow night, Florida, Auburn, Duke, Houston, all four number ones in all four categories, and I am going with Duke. I have Duke for it all. We'll be back right after these brief messages with the Georgia Hour.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we are back. I'm your host, BKP. You are watching the Georgia Hour. The Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, this morning, I have a candidate for the Georgia GOP Inc. state officers list, and this gentleman here is running for assistant secretary for the Georgia GOP. I want to spend a couple minutes for him to introduce himself and why he's running for office for the Georgia GOP Inc. as assistant secretary. Let's bring in Jaquan Stembridge. Good morning, Jaquan. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
I can't complain at all. I can't complain at all. I'll tell you what, Jaquan, you're Mr. Stembridge. Jaquan, you are running for assistant secretary, a state office for the Georgia GOP Inc. And when I was looking at your website and your announcement, I'm very interested in why, and I want you to share that with us, why you're stepping forward and you want to be a part of not just the 10th district. I think you're currently in the 10th district and you have a position there, but why you want to be a part of the state officers list on the Georgia GOP Inc.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm running for assistant secretary because I believe that it is time for the Republican Party to bring the conservative message to the next generation of voters. For far too long, the Republican Party has talked about, we want young people, we want young people. Well, now is the time to actually get young people involved and actually bring our message to people who have never heard the conservative message before. You know, a lot of times, Brian, I go to these different GOP events and they always use the quote from Ronald Reagan where he said that freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. And Ronald Reagan was right. But it doesn't mean anything to use that quote if we're not going to do anything to actually bring in that next generation. And so I'm in this race because I believe that I can give Gen Z a seat at the table in the Republican Party, and I can actually help bring the conservative message to the next generation of voters.
Well, I will say, and no exaggeration, hundreds. I have been in hundreds of GOP meetings across the state, and almost every single one, there's a discussion on how do we get young people involved. So I will agree with that. That is a general discussion all the time, how to get young people involved. So I think here's my question this morning. Are you a lifelong Republican? Now, when you say lifelong, you are a young man, so you just got into voting age. So we're going to be candid here. But are you a lifelong Republican? How long have you been a Republican? Give us a little background on your political beliefs and how you come to say, I'm a Republican.
Yeah, well, my story is pretty simple, Brian. In 2020, when the world was shut down during the COVID-19 pandemic, I had nothing else to do. My school was shut down. We had, as you know, the grocery stores were shutting down. You couldn't go worship. Everything was just on shutdown in this world. Well, I was an only child. I'm still an only child, but I was an only child. I was raised by a single mom, and so I always, and I lived in a Democrat household, so I always learned all these bad things about Republicans, that Republicans were the party of the rich white man who didn't care anything about black people or anybody who was middle class or maybe even lower class. They didn't care about anybody but their rich friends. And so that's what I always grew up on. But during COVID, I had time to where I could learn more about myself. Since I didn't have any siblings, COVID took away my only social time. So I had nothing else to do but to learn more about myself. So I wanted to learn more about politics. I wanted to learn more about my passion for politics. So I started doing research on what did it mean to be a conservative? What did it mean to be a liberal? What did it mean to be a Republican? What did it mean to be a Democrat? And so I started learning more about it. And during that time, I figured out a few things. Number one, I figured out that I did not like the government being in control of my life. So I figured out very quickly I was a little bit more conservative than I thought. But then I also started listening to President Trump's speeches and his rallies and things of that nature. And I started listening to him talk about things like illegal immigration. Start hearing him talk about things about supporting law enforcement. I started hearing him talk about lower taxes, and I started to think to myself that, hold on, there's nothing racist about that. We all want to live in a safe country. What's racist about wanting a secure border? And so during that time, I realized I was a lot more conservative than I thought. I just never heard the message before. But during that time, I was able to learn more about myself. And so I got involved in 2020 and I started volunteering with the Trump campaign in 2020. I was so young that the Trump campaign did not want me knocking on doors, at least by myself. So I made some phone calls to President Trump, and then I tried to help us save our 2 Senate seats in 2020. As you may remember, that was a heck of a thing there in 2020 with our runoff system. And so ever since then, I've been very involved. In 2022, I was a field organizer for the Georgia Victory Team. 2023, I started the Georgia 10th Congressional District Team Republicans because I wanted to empower more young people to get involved, empower more young conservatives to take a stand, to have a seat at the table. And ever since then, I've went all across this state, speaking to different groups, speaking to different county parties, and doing the work and spreading the message of why it is so important that Gen Z has a seat at the table in this party, and why it is so important that the party does more outreach to the next generation.
Well, I've got two quick questions. I appreciate you taking the time this morning. You said in your research, and you said this multiple times, what it means, and what it means. And you said what it means to be a Democrat, what it means to be a Republican, what it means to be a conservative. So considering in your research, and I know you still have a lot of time to focus and grow in the party, we understand that. But what did you learn? What does it mean to be a conservative Republican? What were the lessons you learned that shaped you coming out and saying, I'm a Republican, a black male Republican supporting Donald Trump? What were some of those things that you learned?
Well, there was one big contrast during 2020, and one of the biggest contrasts for me was that the Democrats, when you look across the country, they were more focused on wanting to be in control of your life. They wanted to tell you how to do things, when to do it, what to do, things of that nature in 2020. But we saw a lot less of that with the Republican side. The Republicans were more so of, we're not going to tell you what to do. The government should not be in control of your life. You have your own personal responsibilities. You can be in control of your own life. That was one of the big things that really made me get involved with the Republican Party. But another thing that really brought me into the party back in 2020 was that the Democrats didn't really want to speak about the issues. Like, for example, we had a lot of social issues that were going on in 2020. It was like politically insane for you to speak out against BLM and what they were doing in 2020. Where the Republicans, they wasn't having it. They were all about keeping our community safe, no matter what organization it was. That was a big thing for me. I believe that Republicans, we actually speak up for the issues. We speak out against things that are wrong when we see it as wrong. The Democrats are not doing that. The Democrats want to be in control of our lives. The only thing they care about is their own political agenda, and I did not like it. I did not appreciate it, and I did not want the government to be in control of my life.
All right, so two quick questions. We're going to shut it down for the day, and we're going to get you back here real soon as we are talking to candidates. You live in the 10th district, correct? Can you share what county? Like, where do you live? You live in the 10th district of Georgia. Do you have a position in the 10th district Republican Party, and what county do you live in?
Yes, sir. So I live in Greene County, Georgia. I love Greene County. It's so beautiful out there at Lake County. I live in Greene County, Georgia. I do have a position here in the 10th District Republican Party. I am the communications director here in the 10th District. I was appointed by the chairman for that position, and I've been doing that for about a few months now, almost close to a year, I believe. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, so you're a student. You're a student at North Georgia College. You told me double major, and when you're not in class, you're working. So give us your life as a student, and what's your double major, and what kind of job do you have?
Yes, sir. So I am a double major in finance and political science, and I do that during the week. When I'm not in class, I am a substitute teacher. I do substitute throughout the week, sometimes whenever I'm not in class, and it keeps me busy outside of politics. Those are some of the things that I do at school. I'm also part of student government at my college, and I love doing that there. I love anything to do with, just young people, because it's just so many things outside of politics that young people don't know about. I like doing the financial literacy there at the college and things of that nature, and so that's what I do outside of politics. I'm also a percussionist at my church, so I do play the drums at my church, and I'm very involved. My faith is really what keeps me going. That's one of the reasons why I'm also running, because I prayed about it before I got into the race, and my faith is really what drives me, and so I'm very involved in my church as well. And so outside of that, that's just some of the things I do outside of politics.
Now, as Assistant Secretary of the Georgia GOP, there are some things that are limited of really what you'd be involved in, but you would be on the executive committee. You do have a position on the executive committee. You would have a vote in the executive committee. You would also have a position on the state committee and a vote on the state committee. What are some of the agenda items that I understand, Assistant Secretary, would you be more focused? What would you want to bring to the state party that you think you could be most helpful generationally, work with minorities in the inner city, work with young black men? I mean, what do you think you could really focus on and help grow the party?
Yeah, well, first of all, Brian, we need an assistant secretary who wants to do the work. Somebody who doesn't just want a name tag, but someone who wants to do the work. And so I'm young. I'm really willing to roll up my sleeves. I'm ready to get to work. You asked me about doing the community outreach. The first thing for that is showing up. You have to show up, and you can't just show up when it's election time. You know, we talk about the Democrats wanting to show up into black neighborhoods only during election time. Well, the Republicans do it as well. We can't do that. If we want to win over black men or black people in general or minority groups and Gen Z, you have to show up when it's not just election time. You have to send them the message when it's not just election time. And I will bring that. I will be able to connect with all type of different groups. Even when it's not election time, I can be able to show them what does it mean to be a Republican and what does our party stand for, which, by the way, our party is kind of trying to search for what it kind of stands for as well. So, but I will be able to bring that message to them. I will go out to the communities. I have a lot of friends in different organizations, different auxiliaries with the Republican Party. For example, I am the chairman still right now, currently, of the Teen Republicans here in Georgia. We still going to have a good connection with Teen Republicans, the Young Republicans, and the College Republicans. And I want to be able to build coalitions with them to be able to bring them to the table and let them know that, okay, listen, I know I'm not the chairman of this thing, but I am the assistant secretary. I'm on the board. I want you all to be able to have a voice of what our messaging is going forward and be able to bring our message to social media, because quite frankly, Brian, we won't be able to reach the next generation unless we go to them, because the next generation isn't out there searching for Republicans. They're not out there searching what it means to be a conservative. We have to bring the message to them, going on their college campuses, going to high schools campuses, and things of that nature, because the Democrats are already doing it. They're already going out to the high schools, indoctrinating the children. They're already going to the black communities, letting the black community know that, okay, well, these Republicans don't care nothing about you. You don't see none of these Republicans out here in the inner suburbs. You don't see no Republicans out here trying to talk to you, and it's not election time. So the main thing is showing up.
Okay, Jaquan, I've really enjoyed this segment. It's been very informational. We're going to get you back real soon. Tell people how to communicate with you. How do you want them to contact you or contact your campaign if they have more questions and want to get involved in your campaign or look at a website? Give us some of your information, Jaquan.
Yeah, you can follow my social media. I am on Instagram at the letter J, Stembridge Official. That's my Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, Jaquan Stembridge there. Just type in my name. You can find me on X as well, the official Jaquan. That's the best way to reach me there. You can also, my Gmail is here as well. Brian has it, I believe. So Brian, if you could maybe put that up at some point eventually.
We'll put that in the segment.
Thank you. So that's those are the best ways to find me. And I am actually getting ready to start going out, and I want to start going out to more county GOP meetings. So we'll be doing that very soon. My first stop is on Tuesday in Walton County.
All right, Jaquan Stembridge, thank you very much for being with us. We wish you well in your campaign, and maybe you have to get back to studying. So you have a great day, sir.
Thank you. You too, Brian. Thank you.
Okay, folks, state officer candidate for Assistant Secretary of the Georgia GOP, Inc., Jaquan Stembridge. I really enjoyed the conversation. Take a break. We'll be back with the rest of the Georgia Hour. You don't want to miss it.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching the Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. Could you put up number 89 so we can get this started? Now, this dark, evil-hearted woman, all right, very, very evil-hearted, dark woman. Debbie, I want you to listen very close because there may be some information here today that you will be able to use in your next evil attack email that we all are suspect, Debbie. Now, we're just suspect. We seem to be suspicious. We know that you have put out there, because we have that you are your job is to defend Josh McCoon, and now you're out there just going straight after David Cross, knowing David Cross never did anything to you. You've never put out a nice email on his election security work that he's done throughout the years. I don't remember you putting out an email concerning his name being actually on the evidence list for Donald Trump's case. But maybe I missed that, Debbie. So we want you to listen up because we don't want you to miss. And I have a special message for you before we leave. Because I don't know, but I would not do what Debbie Dooley, I would be compensated for it. I would charge for it. Now, Debbie, one more thing, and I got to get this out of the way. It's a little too early to panic. I mean, we still have April, May, we still have almost 2 months, and your panic right now, you probably want to pace yourself in panicking. Now, we know you have no respect for delegates. Either does Josh McCoon have any respect for delegates or their vote. We know that. But you probably want to relax a little bit. I don't want to see your blood pressure or anything get all up because, I'm just saying, don't panic so fast, Debbie, because it's giving away how concerned you and maybe people surrounding you and maybe people, that are compensating you to handle this for them and give them plausible deniability. Now, take that down. So let me say this. Number one, and I don't care what, well, I do care. I do care. But, let me just say this, all right? Now, give me 100. Is this 100 or am I in the wrong screen? I'm in the right screen. Give me 100. Here are the candidates that the Georgia GOP Inc. said were available for delegates to vote on. Right? Now, Travis, you listen also. So these are the candidates they put out that they accepted. And there's a reason I put it as they accepted, because as much as they were concerned and removed me, because Josh said the last thing we need is to not look serious about election integrity in Georgia. And I caused that problem. In fact, I did vote, Josh, legally vote. I did legally vote. Yes, I did. So anyhow, right? I'm for sure after that, your biggest concern is to continue that and not manipulate, alter, pick out your own slate, right? Election integrity would also include, Josh, I'm talking directly to you, it would also include the candidate list, right? Just saying. Now, when I ran, I want to lay this out first. When I ran for first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, I have attended my Republican Party meetings basically all my life at one place or another. But as far as an officer, I never held a county office seat. I was never a precinct captain. I was never a precinct captain. I was never a chair of a county, vice chair. On my district, I never served in any district capacity whatsoever before running for office. Now, after I became a candidate, right? I was then, or after I became a candidate, right? I know the timeline. Only then did I serve. It was after the acceptance here did I serve on the resolutions committee for the 9th district. But that was the most I ever actually served, was the resolutions committee. Now, you might ask why. All right, why didn't you serve? I mean, you don't sound very Republican if you didn't serve, because I moderated in my career probably 40-some debates. 40-some debates I've moderated. And in the 9th district, which then the chair of the 9th district, Rebecca Yarley, could tell you, I moderated the only full candidate Secretary of State debate. I moderated a 2-hour debate. Diane was the timekeeper. There you go. Diane was right there. She'll tell you. We moderated and held a 2-hour debate in front of 500 people in the audience and thousands watching, with Brad Raffensperger, Jody Heiss, David Belle-Isle, and TJ Hudson. Now, the reason I did not, I was asked multiple times in Gilmer, and Fannin, would you run for chair? I say, no, I do not want to hold any party positions. So when I moderate debates, I can just have true clarification that I'm not supporting any candidate in any way. And that's the reason. So when I sent my intent to run and resume, I put in there I moderated debates and so forth. But in my resume and my intent to run, and I was on the ballot, and I did go to that phony, fake, false, no good, wasted time nominating committee. I did attend that, right? I had nothing on my resume concerning Georgia GOP county, district, or state. Nothing. And I was on the ballot, right? Now, since I was on the ballot and David Cross, they pretty much can't keep David Cross off the ballot. Pay attention, Debbie. They pretty much can't keep David Cross off the ballot. Can't do it. If Josh could, now I'm just saying, let's just put it out there. If Josh could find a way, I bet you David Cross would not be on the ballot. But that would be a bet I would make, because he is on the ballot. David Cross, his resume, look at before he became second vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. Go look at his resume. Find if he was chairman of Gwinnett County, and find any of that on his resume. But he was on the ballot. Now, you see, we both are the never can happen again. So they're putting things in place to where this never happens again. All right. So when the state committeeman position came up, I got a phone call. David Cross wanted to run so he could be a voice for Georgia at the RNC. And he wanted to run for state committeeman, and I got a call, and I said, look, here's the only thing I would do. I would check with the parliamentarian that if you don't win this race, you don't lose your second vice chair position. That I would be clear on. So he ran, he lost, but he maintained the position. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. Pay attention, Debbie and Travis. This is really for you. Now, so we come to the state convention, right? And we have 3 candidates running for state committee woman for the RNC. We have Amy Kramer, we have Sean Cross, and we have Ginger Howard, right? And Ginger Howard was the incumbent. So they felt nothing was going to stop Ginger Howard. I mean, they had pictures of Candace and Ginger together. Ginger went out and acted and pretended like she was MAGA. She went out and acted like she's a conservative. She acted like, right? And God, you know, if you get a picture with Candace and you get a picture with, you know, the ladies over in the 14th, I mean, sure, you're not going to lose. And she did. She did. So they lost first vice chair, BJ Van Gundy, to me. They lost, the delegates did this, not me. They lost second vice chair to Brant Frost, right? And they lost RNC, Georgia State Committee woman, to Amy Kramer. Now, when I say they lost, it's just this crazy thing that the delegates voted. You see, the delegates voted. And Josh has, I'm going to look at you and tell you, he has no respect for the delegates. He will tell you that. He does. But he has no respect for the delegates. Now, that being said, they are altering, because I told you yesterday, we're going to get into this right now. They are altering the ballot to meet the never could happen again narrative. That's what they're doing. Simple as that. All right? They're altering it. That's what we hear. There's too much chatter going on, and I'll show you how. So I'm understanding that Josh has talked to, wait a minute, usually what happens here, wait a minute, Diane, I've got to go to the power couple. I have to go to the power couple. Where is the power couple? Give me number 91. So, and then we're going back to this. So Josh generally uses that plausible deniability whenever possible. And this is the power couple. He goes to Travis to make the calls. Right? Usually that's what happened. Right, Travis? You know that. Or to go on Signal and bash and attack, whatever. But we're hearing that between the two of them, there's been some talk that Josh would like the ballot to look a certain way, to work with him, not give the delegates candidates, not keep people off the ballot like they tried to keep Trump off there, right? Rumor is he would like to set the ballot up, I don't know, kind of like Putin style. You know, Russia win by 81% and his whole cabinet, they all win? So Zelensky McCone there doesn't want a fair election. That's my opinion, Travis. Get it? Now, go back to there. Now, so in the Georgia GOP, we're determined to drain the swamp. We know, someone used the word neutered, that the GOP has been neutered. Now, Josh is prepared to follow doggy style. Well, that didn't come out right. How would I put this? Like a little pup behind lawmakers and do as he's told. You ready? One more time. This is going to make them mad. But Josh is prepared in the neutered GOP to follow lawmakers in Georgia around like a little pup and do as he's told. Right? Because he is a lifelong politician. He's a politician, period, right? But what we would like to do, not attack the politicians, not go after the lawmakers, but what we would like to do is reverse things to where the delegates are respected, the party has the power, and now the state lawmakers have respect for the party and follow true Republican values that the party says we want put forward, and we're not following you around like a puppy dog. You're actually coming to us and saying, how are we doing governing with the R in front of our name? It's that simple. Now, who can argue with that? Well, I have a list. Now, I'm not endorsing a candidate. David Cross is my friend, damn it. I have a rule. You want to hear my rule? If you're my friend on Monday, you're my friend on Tuesday. I'll tell you what that means on Wednesday, okay? But bottom line, David Cross is my friend. I mean, look, Debbie, because you said you were my friend on Saturday and stabbed me in the back on Monday, not everybody works like you, David. I mean, Debbie, not everybody treats people like you do, Debbie, right? I remember the day when you were making graphics of Candace Taylor. Now you guys are best friends. That's some crazy stuff. Now, I'm not supporting or endorsing any candidates. So we got David. Now, let's go to first vice chair. So we have completely done the entire story on first vice chair with Lisa Pierce. So we're not going to do that again, but here you go, 88. Now, this is Lisa Pierce. She put everything in place. You can find the segment. We showed you all the documents, right? Now, on her resume, she has a county chair. She's county chair, Upton County chair. On her resume, she's been an officer in the county Republican Party within her district, within the state of Georgia. But somehow, some way, they said, you know what? We think, this is BKP opinion, we think Sally Grubbs could beat Alice Olenek head-to-head. That's what we think. So let's alter that and let's deny her ballot access. Ballot access. One more time. Republican Party denying one of their county chairs ballot access. Don't forget that. Election integrity, Josh. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. No cheating, no stealing, no lying, no machines, all the above. So Lisa's not on the first vice chair ballot. Well, I'll be damned. Go back to 100. So now we have second vice chair. Now at the current time, we have Brad Barnes, and I like Brad Barnes. I've said that. I'm not endorsing a single candidate in this race anywhere. And we have Zappendorf, nice lady. Not for sure why she's running. But I'm going to flip a coin and say that Betsy Kramer, because we can kind of tell the teamwork, right, Steve? The teamwork of you and Travis, the Travis-Steve team, when you go on those networks and bash people like together, like a tag team off the top rope. Wonder what that's about. So I'm thinking Josh has picked Betsy Kramer. Treasurer, Josh, I would bet Josh has pulled Jeff into the race to run against Lori. Jenny, we're good with that. Secretary, I guess I'd say Susie Voiles is the pick. Now, it gets down to assistant secretary. And Jaquan Stembridge was just on the show. You can watch the video of the young man and make your decision. So Jaquan Stembridge was on here. I wonder if Josh had his way. Listen, Debbie. I wonder if Josh had his way, if Josh could have asked, well, maybe, let's see, how do I put this? I wonder if Josh really wanted Jaquan Stembridge, a young, articulate, black male Republican on the ballot. I just wonder if he did. Just checking, wondering. Now we have Caroline Jeffords. So if you're confused on who Caroline Jeffords is, give me 99, a.k.a. Princess, okay? Now Caroline Jeffords, and I want to go back to that. This is Princess. Now Princess has a lot of money, right? Princess in the P. She's got a lot of money, yes. She spends a lot of money. She supports certain causes, right? She supports certain attacks. I remember when Princess and I had breakfast one morning and we were working together to see how we could shut down Josh McCoon. Do you remember that, Princess? Do you? Like, we had coffee. Well, maybe you don't remember. Do you remember what day it was that you finally said, flipped over and attacked me? But before that, I just wondering. So let's get away from Princess for a minute, all right, because I haven't had coffee with her in a long time. Now, she is currently the secretary of the Georgia Republican Party. But Jaquan referred to someone as, what did he say? Just wearing a name tag? Take that down. Go back to the candidates. He said, I am not someone who would just wear a name tag. I want to do the work. You figure it out. So Jaquan is on the ballot. Now, let's wrap this up. Now, again, I do not get involved. I really don't. I don't get, you will not see. I basically don't retweet. I don't have relationships. I bump into people at events. I'm cordial. If someone calls me, I talk to them. I got a call out of South Georgia yesterday, but I don't want, well, Debbie, Travis, Josh, I got a call out. If you're panicking already, you might, they might be another button you want to hit. You might want to go to DEFCON 1 if you really knew who called me yesterday out of South Georgia. But I'm going to leave it hanging there, Deb. Anyhow, this is number 85. Now, this is Kylie Kramer, all right? Unless, I want to be clear, unless it was a big event, public, and I'm not aware of it, I've never been in the same room with Kylie Kramer, okay? I don't have a lot of communication with Kylie Kramer. And this is not negative. I'm not saying it negative. I'm just trying to highlight, because Debbie Dooley's out there attacking Kylie, attacking her mom, attacking Bill Quinn, attacking Sophia Farouk, attacking BKP, attacking David Cross, attacking Bill Quinn. Did I say that twice? She's out there attacking everybody. Now, I get it. If, Debbie, are you doing all that for free? Because how do you do your day job with all this time you're doing attacking everybody? So, that being said, Kylie Kramer. Now, Kylie Kramer is a candidate, or attempted to be a candidate, for, I had it here somewhere, Diane. Let's go to 102. Give me 102. Now, the cutoff is 5 o'clock. I already have this. It's cut off at 5 o'clock, March 15th. So you had to have your intent, right? You had to have your intent, and you had to have your resume. Now, we have just for clarification, all right, there is no definition of and. A-N-D. A-N-D in the call, A-N-D in the rule does not define 2 documents, does not define 2 emails. Resume does not define anything of, like, what's your qualification, here's a template, nothing. No guidance, all right? So Kylie sends this, you can see at the top, running for GOP Assistant Secretary. March 15th at 4:54 and 30 seconds. 5 minutes and 30 seconds before the deadline. Who else did that? Well, that's another story. I better not add it in. And she sent it to Karen Henshaw. She has some other people that got it. And Josh McCoon. To whom it may concern, this letter serves as a notice of my intent to run for Georgia GOP Assistant Secretary position at the 2025 convention. So, there you go. That's the intent. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. 5 o'clock, March 15th. Looks like it to me. I have worked politics since 2009 when I was in college, blah, blah, blah. I am currently executive director of Women for America First, blah, blah, blah. I am an ardent Trump supporter, but more importantly, I believe in America First and supporting the Constitution. Break right there. Josh will brag that he says the Georgia GOP Inc., but he single-handedly, right, Captain McCoon swooped in and won the election for Donald Trump. But I'll tell you what you don't hear out of Captain McCoon. You don't hear his open, full-throated support for Donald Trump. Oh, he'll throw a little something out, but you don't hear it. That's another segment. All right, so I am currently blah, blah, blah. I am ardent Trump supporter. I hope to help grow the Georgia Republican Party across the state and work to gain back the U.S. Senate seat. Well, that sounds like, and defeat Ossoff. Okay. No problem with that. It is important to get rid of Dominion voting machines. Ah, crap. Now, you had to go and do that, Kylie. I mean, Josh could have overlooked everything until you said get rid of Dominion voting machines. In the state of Georgia, I look forward to working with everyone. Well, that sounded pleasant. Kylie Jane Kramer. Well, okay. Wonder what happened. Looks like an intent and kind of a resume to me. From Kylie. Kylie was waiting. So this is number 103. And hello. This was Kylie. Hello. Please confirm receipt of my email from yesterday. It is my understanding that the others have heard back confirming their intent to run, so I want to make sure you receive mine as well. Thank you for your help in advance. Okay, it didn't sound ugly to me. 104. Now, Karen Henshaw said, I apologize. I apologize. Yes, I received your email. Karen. Huh. Now, the only email I see that was sent here, well, the other one was, did you? And March 15th, give me number 102, March 15th, 4 p.m., 54 minutes and 30 seconds within the cutoff. And then she apologized. 104. Yes, I received. Now, that was March 16th. March 24th. Now, I said this with Lisa. I want to see the communications. Now, Josh doesn't have to show us anything, and he won't. They will not. Sally, maybe you can get it for us, because I know you and Josh are like this, okay? Maybe you can get it. But anyhow, moving right along. March 24th, it's almost like, well, who communicated this, right? Alex Kaufman, John White, Justin Rice, and Josh McCoon. The 24th, so 15th, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 9 days. Was it 9 days before Lisa Pierce was told no? 9 days. It took you 9 days. Well, Alex Kaufman was out of the country. What? All right, anyhow. So here is 105. Dear Kylie, this is to notify you that your submission of intent to run for Georgia GOP Assistant Secretary, as required by Section C7 of the 2025 Convention Call, does not meet the section's requirements, and therefore you're ineligible for consideration of the nominating committee and ultimately by the state committee. Ultimately. Damn. The material you submitted does not meet the basic requirements of political resume, which at the minimal should. Now, who is the minimal? Could you please? I want an email of minimal. Minimal. Boop, 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 boop. Tell me that. Should contain specified specifications specifically, not specifications, should contain specifically regarding your political qualifications and experience, skills, and other information as appropriate. I don't know. I read it. It was the state party general counsel and parliamentary concur. There they are concurring over there in this. Sincerely, Karen. Nah, don't think so. Now, look, it doesn't. Look, I think, here's what I think. I think it's America, and if you want to run for office, run for office. That's what I think. It's America. And I don't care if there's 6 people. I do not care if there's 6 people on the ballot. I don't care. Run. It's America. But give it to the delegates. Give it to the delegates. Let the delegates decide. And then once the delegates decide, respect the delegates. Period. So she will not, this lady here, 85, Kylie Kramer, will not be on the ballot to run against 99, Princess. But they have Princess running against Jaquan, 95 here. 95. Right. And I wonder if they wanted Jaquan on the ballot at all. So 96, here's Josh and Sally. Bad people. Here's 94, Josh and Jacqueline, which a lot of people have asked me who really runs the Georgia GOP. And then we have 91, the power couple of the state, Tyler Bowden. So the guy that's current, what's your name? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Justin, what is your name? Georgia GOP Executive Director. No disrespect, sir, but I think you ought to pack your bags. Well, no, don't pack your bags. Because if David gets elected, I don't know what he'll do. But if Josh gets elected, you might want to pack your bags because Q-Ball will be right back in that chair for executive director of the Georgia Republican Party. Now, Q-Ball keeps going around and others and saying that if David Cross gets elected, Debbie Dooley, the evil-hearted woman, keeps saying that if David Cross, he's friends with Brian Pritchard. Do you know that? He's friends with Brian Pritchard. Do you know that? Can you believe he's friends with Brian Pritchard? My God. Debbie, relax. Relax. Not everybody says they're a friend on Saturday and stabs them in the back on Monday. Not everybody, Debbie. Relax. The check is in the mail. Maybe. Go check. Go stand next to the mailbox. So not everyone gets paid. Now, I don't know if it happened or not, but not everyone gets paid to turn on their friends. So let me look at the camera. Let's put up the fake news Froster. Let's do a weather report really quickly. This number 40. This is a new CNN correspondent, right? Fake news, CNN, fake news. You know, I can understand they hired. Did they hire? Katie, are you paid because you were on there for like 2 hours the other day? Katie Frost. So Katie's on Signal, and I think, I don't want to quote it, if David gets elected, Brian Pritchard will be the executive director of the Georgia Republican Party and sign a check. Oh, the agony, the humanity, the thought of it, right? So then go back to Q Ball and his friend, right? So let me just set something straight, okay? I know you have no respect for people. It's a damn shame that Republicans are this evil within this party and being so mean and disgusting to each other. It really is what you do. I mean, some of you out there, you got family members that's been through rehab. You got family members, maybe yourself have got a DUI, got family members in jail. I don't know. But I'm not passing judgment because God did not give me that authority to pass judgment. But God knows He gave all humans, as my dad would say, all humans, the authority to pass judgment and to hate and to be nasty and ugly and lie and cheat and, in my opinion, steal. Right? In the name of the Lord. Had to do that one for Candace. Anyhow, so, cue ball, listen up. I live in paradise. I just really do. I really do. I'm not a wealthy man at all. I'm not. I don't have riches. I really don't. My riches are my family, and I live absolutely in paradise. I leave this show. I go out back. I sit on the porch. I got 3 dogs. I get a cheap cigar. Don't try that at home, kids. I get phone calls, enjoy my friends, right? Drink a Coca-Cola and hang out. Now, I live 2 hours, maybe in 15 minutes from the Georgia Republican Party, Inc. HQ. And for those of you out there, if you think what I want to do is drive to Atlanta every day and answer the phone for David Cross, you people have, well, there's a mental health bill waiting for you somewhere in the Georgia legislation, if that's what you think. Now, I don't know where that came from. So anyhow, hi, Josh. Give me this one right here. So Kylie's not on the ballot. Here's Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, Debbie Dooley, 87. All right. And there you go. Right? There you go. Friendly Evil. Now, Debbie, do you remember? I can't go. I've had... Debbie, do you remember when 92, when you made fun of Candace Taylor? Do you remember all of those? Like, do you remember all those nasty, ugly things you said about Candace Taylor? Debbie, do you remember making this graphic? What does buns times 2 equal Candace Taylor? Do you remember that? Debbie, do you? I just wondered if you do. And do you remember 101 when Candace's oldest son, right? 101 this, and when Candace's oldest son, Ryan, yeah, her oldest son, Ryan. Oh, that's her husband. That's her husband. Sorry. You remember when Candace's husband, Ryan, tweeted out Fine Tail Booty Dance Contest? Damn! Win $1,000. Download for free. Find out more at RyanTaylorMusic.com. A Fine Tail Booty Dance Contest. Well, I'll be damned. Debbie, you remember all that? You remember all them attacks you did on Candace that you put out there? We didn't know any of this right here, number 92, until Debbie, you put it out. But I understand you like Candace now, because I have those text messages where you don't like Candace and now you like her. I was just wondering, how do you feel about her? Because I know you could tell somebody on Saturday, I got your back, and on Monday, stab them in the back. That was me, Debbie. 89 Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Josh controlling the ballot. Wonder if Jaquan was going to be on the ballot. Our next episode of Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap in the Georgia Swamp. Monday, 8 a.m. Have a nice weekend.